After generating my first £1,000,000 within 3 years of running a business, I've learned a lot of lessons on the way. In today's video, I want to share the most important lessons that will help you get to that figure quicker than I did. My name's James Eardley, and if you're new to the channel, I've scaled and built an e-commerce business to over 7 figures, and this has enabled me time and location freedom. My mission is now to help you do the same. So, lesson number 1 is that mentors matter. There's a saying that I've heard along my journey, and it's, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. And what that means to me is that yes, you can go quickly and you can start a business and you can go a decent distance on your own and you can do it quickly. However, if you want the really big returns, if you want to get to the bigger figures like 7, 8, 9 figure businesses, the way you do that is by going together. And that can be in 2 different ways. The first way is in a mentorship way, and it's around by getting around people that are like you or a few steps ahead of you that you can learn from. And the second way is by getting a team around you that are helping you to really get to the next level. Now, nothing in this world was created by people on their own completely. You speak to footballers, you speak to athletes, you speak to singers, and these people that have got to really high heights in their life and careers, they always say that they couldn't have got there without the people around them. And to a lesser extent, the way my business has gone and how I've built myself up to a 7-figure business owner in the last few years has been from getting around the right people, both in a mentorship point of view and being in communities, and secondly, having a fantastic team around me that enable me to really grow and scale the business. Being part of a community allows you to learn from people that are a few steps ahead and get around others that are as ambitious as you are. So joining communities, which I'm a big part of now, has been the biggest single factor in getting to the success I've got to. I couldn't do it without other people, and I recommend that an actionable step to take from this video is to start thinking about how you can get yourself around others. The second biggest lesson for me is something I like to call sustainable consistency. So consistency is the buzzword, and everyone I think realizes at this point that if you want to achieve anything fantastic, you have to be consistent with the actions that you put in. People's successes, they can sometimes look like overnight success stories, but whenever you see an overnight success story, they're like an iceberg. Well, the reality is you only get to see the peak of the iceberg, and beneath that is all of the years or the months and the time and effort that they've put in so they can eventually see that success. It's the same as a tree growing. Before you see the tree trunk emerge from beneath the surface and before that plant actually starts to grow, the tree has to grow down first and the roots have to go down. And what that means is whenever we are creating a business or creating something that we want to have a huge success, before you can see the success, you have to go down first and put the work in before the success can come to the light. My success in running a successful e-commerce business came from months and years of quiet work in the background before I was able to start talking about having a successful business. When I first started, I did it alongside my 9-to-5 job, and I was working in the evenings, in the mornings before work. I also put a few hours in on the weekends, and that was because I knew that I had to put in this work. And even after the first few weeks and months of doing this, you don't see the results. But the key is that you consistently keep taking the actions that you know will get you to success, even though you can't see the results straight away. Now, I mentioned the word sustainable before consistency because the key to being consistent is that you do it in a sustainable way. Now, I see some people when they create new gym routines or they create a new business routine to get them to their goals, they go huge and they burn out. Like, for example, with the gym routine, they say, I will go to the gym 7 days a week for an hour a day until I've lost the weight. But what happens when people create these unsustainable routines is that they burn out after the first week or first 2 weeks. And then you lose out on all of the gains that you would have gained had you been consistent for weeks, months, and years. So whatever routine you put into place, you need to be consistent with it, and you need to make sure that it's sustainable. And you get to the end of the week on a Sunday evening, you reflect and know that you can do all that again without too much effort. The key to success, if I had to put it into a few sentences, is that you have to know the routine that you're sticking to, and that routine, it must be unreasonable that that routine won't get you to success. So, for example, with a business, if you were to put a routine together and you're growing an e-commerce business, and every day in the working week, you're going to speak to 5 suppliers to make sure that you have spoken to like 20, 25 suppliers by the end of the week, It's unreasonable that you won't sign at least 5 suppliers every single week. And if you do that consistently for 2 months, you'll have 40 suppliers that you've signed and you put the work in. And when you've got those products on your store and you're running marketing campaigns to products that you have justified and you can see that are popular, it would be unreasonable that you wouldn't succeed. So all you need to do is work out what is the inputs that create the outputs of success, and just create a sustainable routine to complete those inputs over the long term, and you get to success. And the third and final lesson from my first £1 million that I think is so important to share is that you have to embrace challenges. So perhaps I made it sound too simple then about how to get to success, about being consistent. What will happen inevitably when you first start to when you get to where you want to be, there will be challenges, there'll be slower growth than you wanted, it'll be more difficult than you thought it was going to be. And throughout all of those times, you have a choice. You have a choice to either give up and say, yep, this is harder than I thought it was going to be, it's not possible. Or you embrace those challenges, decide that it's all part of the journey, and you actually learn from them and pivot from that position. So you have that choice. And I think too many people, they come across difficulties, they come across challenges, and they think that it's too hard or it wasn't meant to be this difficult. And then they switch off. And that is where you lose out on the consistency, and it's because you're not embracing those challenges. So if you go in with the right mindset, knowing that there will be difficulties, there will be challenges, but you're ready for them and you'll learn from each of them, then you're setting yourself up for success. So actionable tips to take away from these lessons is to put together a routine that will get you to the success that you want, that you know will be sustainable. Secondly, create a community around you, get people around you or get around existing communities to help you to make sure that routine stays consistent because you have others holding you accountable. And step 3 is to prepare yourself, make sure you understand what the likely challenges will be, and understand that whenever you come across those challenges, it won't matter. You'll lean on the community around you and you'll keep pushing on regardless. So with that said, hopefully this video has been valuable for you. If you're finding it challenging to kickstart your journey of leaving a 9-to-5 and starting a business, there is a community that I'm building called the Freedom Builders. And the link for that is the first link in the description. So if you want to get around people that are ambitious, or perhaps they're a step or two ahead of you, and you want to learn from them and get around a position where people are egging you on, then that is the recommendation that I'd point you towards. Don't worry, it's not a £997 course, there's no webinar, there's no free gift, it's no sales like that. It's purely because I want to create a community of like-minded people so we can all push each other on in the challenges that we're going through. So if you found value in what we discussed today, don't forget to hit the like button, and it lets me know that you enjoy this type of video. Also hit that subscribe button to join this community that we're building. This channel isn't just a YouTube channel, it is a community, it's a tribe of people all pushing to get to their goals. Thank you for being here. Remember to keep pushing, and remember every step you take is another step towards your freedom. So with that said, I will catch you in the next video.